Welcome to the Her Voice Shines podcast, where we celebrate the power, brilliance, and resilience of women everywhere. I'm your host, Nadira Washington. Join us as we share inspiring stories and insights from extraordinary women who have found their voice and are making a difference. Together, we'll create a ripple effect, illuminating the path to visibility and empowerment. Let's break barriers, shatter ceilings, and lift each other up. In each episode, we dive deep into the journeys of women who have turned their challenges into triumphs and their dreams into reality. Whether you're looking for motivation, guidance, or a community that understands your journey, you're in the right place. Stay tuned and remember, let your voice shine. Whoa, and just like that, y'all already know I'm back like I never left. It's your fabulous host, Nadira Baye, streaming from the beautiful city of Houston, Texas. And y'all already know, I don't care what y'all say, this is the best podcast on the planet. If I ain't gonna stand on it, who else gonna stand on it? But I love this place because we get the most amazing stories. I love my guests. We don't skip on my guests. And I treat this place really as a place of passion because it drives the conversation and it builds community. You guys know the drill. Our guest comes to the stage, tell us their name, where they're streaming from, and we get that story without any further waiting time. He is my very beautiful guest for today.
Hello, everyone. My name is Nadira Baye, and I am coming from South Orange, New Jersey. I'm a New Jersey girl over here, y'all. And I am a certified life coach. I'm a confidence coach, and I'm an author. And what I'm about is just helping high achieving women and women in corporate balance that life of having burnout and not having self-worth and just feeling that they're spread so thin and they're tired all the time and they're frustrated because they don't have the life that they want. And I help them get there because we are more than enough. All of us women are. Yeah.
Well, first off, all y'all that be in my inbox talking about, oh, I'm tired. Where do I start? Well, here's somebody that can help you start. Because we talk about the truth around here. And so many women are in a place, especially women that look like me and Mr. Deere on here are in a place that they are so burnt out, spiritually, mentally, emotionally. They're just there. And one of the things is that when you actually hit a wall and you get all the way to the bottom, it's hard to pull yourself out of a pit. Yeah. So if there are already signs there that there's burnout and there are things that you need to do to kind of course correct, get help. We don't like to raise our hand and get help. Now, I know that you have Nadira Baye Inspires LLC. That's what you have.
I do. Yes, I love it. Yes. Y'all, she's the best. Yes.
I want you to tell me the journey behind creating that and what was the mission? I know that you kind of told us a little bit about what it is, but sometimes there's an internal mission that happens, especially when you build something that you want to stand on.
Well, the reason why I did it is because first we have to be our own avatar. We have to be our own spokesperson, and we have to be the ones that are writing our own story. So like many of the women, I was a working mom, wife, doing all of the things. And it was really hard just juggling it. It was really, really, really hard. And I was also in a leadership role for over 15 years. So I had a lot of responsibility on my plate, like we all do. And I just felt like there has to be another way. And God kept sending me dreams that I was going to be doing something else. Like this was not the way my chapter was supposed to end for my life. And I remember there was a customer that came in one day and he and I were just speaking here and there, talking to all the customers. Customer service is very important because how we deal with people is important. So he always say like quirking things here and there to other team members and myself. And out of nowhere, he was walking out the door and he turned around and he looked at me. He said, you know what? If you don't leave this place, you're going to hate yourself. And I said, excuse me? I said, what did you say to me? He's like, if you don't leave this place, this job, you are going to hate yourself. And and he walked out the door. I was speechless. And I knew at that moment that was the switch that I needed to help to make me say, you know what, I have to take the next step on what gifts and skills and talents that God instilled in me. I have to start using them. And I was already using them, not knowing it. I was already coaching other women, just giving value and giving the help that I've received. I was just supporting a lot of women. Like we have to support each other and we have to be a cheerleader for each other. And I was just already coaching, not knowing I was doing it. But then when that customer said what he said to me and all the dreams and all the things that were happening were lining up, it was time for me to step into my next chapter in life. And so that's why I'm here. I'm here because I was a person that was going through it, and I was tired of seeing other women going through what I was going through and just feeling like there has to be another way. And when that happened, I was just like, that's it.
That was the one. I'm sitting here like shaking my head in the background, like, number one, the customers saw what you probably didn't always see.
Right.
Sometimes it takes the unlikeliest candidate, right, to say some things that really kind of catapult. I had a similar situation right before I left corporate in 2021. It had to be in 2020, a little before the pandemic. We had a training, and I was in corporate financial services for 13 years. And we had this training, about 10 of us in leadership. And this little short white Caucasian lady came in there and she was training. She was an excellent trainer, by the way. But I noticed that every time I looked at her, she was looking at me. I said, okay, now, wait a minute now. So I noticed another time I look up and I say, nah, she got one more time. And then we're going to have to address the situation. But before we got ready to leave, the lady grabbed me by the hand and said, what are you doing here? All right. And she said, I know it was awkward. And then what she did was she put me in kind of we had to break up into smaller teams within the training. And she put me in the toughest managers, right? She said, because I knew that you could get them to see it a different way. I didn't realize what she was doing because we had to break up and do managerial scenarios. That's what we were in for. But as I was leaving, she said, what are you doing here? And I was like, well, my badge still works. I guess the folks still let me in here. That's why I'm here.
That's why I'm here. Get my check. What you mean?
Yeah, because my badge at this time is still working.
Yes.
And she told me this is clear as day. She said, they do not know what they have. And she said, until you know what you have, can't be upset. Never seen her again from that point. That's why when we get back there, I started shaking my head because I had a very similar experience with that. And I will never forget her face. Never saw her again, never spoke to her again or anything like that. But she was an unlikely candidate, and she was not going to leave until she told me that. And that was a little bit before the pandemic and all of that, that would force us home. And then I actually never made it back to the grounds. I left before the pandemic, but it was just something that stuck out in your story that tells us that sometimes people can automatically see your light. And you will play with your light, but people can automatically see it. Right. And that is what I try and get people to don't dim your light, because sometimes it has to be someone else that sees it shine to let you know how bright it is.
Bright. So bright.
Yeah.
I love that story.
Very good. So let's go here. She said she's an author, right? And I told her, look, I said, y'all tell the best story. I tell them all. I said, y'all tell the best story that they just glim over and say, oh, that's never it. But that's okay. That's why we do the conversation the way we do, because she has a big D. That's the book. She I know about the book. I don't know why my guests they learn quickly that this girl knows. She got the big D.
Yes.
I want you to tell us about the big D and really what you envision readers to feel from writing that book.
What I want readers to feel when they read the book is, number one, is that you have all the power. We have to uncondition ourselves and unlearn what we've been taught, especially as Black women, that we are not beautiful, that we are not strong, that we are not sensual, that we are not sexy, that we are not intelligent, that we are not the full package. We have to unlearn what's been projected on us in the society, because it's all lies. And the reason why I chose the title, The Big D, because it starts with decision making. Everything is a decision making. It's all about your decisions. And the big D stands for the power of your decision making. If we make the right decisions, it will change our life and will change the lives of those that need us, that love us. And that's the power of decision-making and the right decision-making. And we can't devalue I just did it. And I didn't give it any thought. You have to make strong decisions. And the power of the D and the big D is about making the best decisions for your life. And if you make mistakes, because we all do, give yourself your grace and just put yourself together, pick yourself up and say, I can do it. And a part of that decision making is asking for help. That's another thing. As Black women and Black girls, we're so strong and we don't need anyone's help. No, we do need help. This is why I mentioned that we are sensual and we're beautiful and we are attractive and sexy. We are all of those things. We're vulnerable. We are human beings. We deserve to be touched and loved and respected. And we are intelligent. but we can't do it alone. So that's another thing about decision making, the right decision making. And that's the reason why I chose that title, because I wanted it to stick out and resonate into women to say, you know what, that hits deep, because I have to start making the right decisions for my life, because I deserve it. Because you truly deserve to have an amazing, beautiful life, a wonderful life. So that's the reason why I chose that title, because I understood what was in me, and that it was time that I had to be the first person that is a success story for myself, to show other people there's a way. Because you don't want to follow somebody or listen to anybody if they haven't been through it themselves. You're like, this person ain't even telling the truth. I went through it. I know how it feels. And this is why I know that we are meant to have an amazing life, but it's up to you to believe in yourself. And it starts with decision making. It starts with that mindset and decision making. Yep.
Oh yeah, I think that's great. And then also too, to connect those, whatever, the notion that we don't need help. And then somebody, always says, so when I do get help, at least it's something else. But this is where the decision making comes in, because you can decide,
Decide.
That's it.
It's decide. And this is the book, y'all. Look at it's so pretty too. Sensual.
Tell them where they can get the book.
You can get it on Amazon. The book is on Amazon. If you just type in my name, Nadira Baye, it will pop up. It will pop up. And it's self-published. I'm a self-published author. That's another thing where I was like, I'm going to do this. Power D. I was like, I'm writing my own book. I'm self-publishing myself. I'm going to do my research. I'm going to do it. And because you can, and we all can. So, yeah.
I love it. And when I felt like when I left, because I had to make a lot of decisions quickly in my career. But then when I transitioned to this, and I didn't really have a blueprint for it.
Right.
I long for decision-making skills, because when you don't know, when you're in the wilderness, decision-making is skewed, because you know what I'm saying? Like, you don't really know what it is. So decision-making is something that's really powerful. But then I had to go back and remind myself is that if you can make big decisions for them,
girl, ooh, you hitting it. Yes.
That's the real. That's the real life cleaning. That happens from a shift where everything's more comfortable, and But I'm just saying this from experience. And this also too kind of hinges on this next question, because like in the workplace, because I had to move so quickly through my career, like I had a new role every year and a half.
Wow.
I always felt that my hard skills sometimes lacked, Nadira, because I didn't have enough time to be an expert like all these people. I've been 20 years in treasury, or I've been, 20 years in accounting. That was never my story. I had a strong career, but I never held a role more than a year and a half. So sometimes I felt that the hard skills to do the thing sometimes lack. But what I found was more powerful was those soft skills and community. So I want to ask you, in your experience, how do soft skills influence workplace culture? And why do people need to understand that those soft skills have, if sometimes in my career it had more weight than the hard skills, because I didn't get a lot of them in many roles.
That's right. Well, because the thing is, sometimes what happens is like technology is advancing so much, and we heavily, especially now, it's just like technology is technology. Well, guess what? Who built technology? People built technology. And what happens is sometimes we get so far removed from the human aspect of how things are supposed to be. And why I was such a successful leader, ran $1 million store, the reason why I did that consistently to the point where I didn't have none of my leadership, my other team members, they didn't want to leave me, is because I created, thankfully, a cohesive, fun, supportive, loving, and caring, and tough love. I gave a lot of tough love environment, because I know how it felt to have great leadership. If you want, the soft skills are so important, because number one, if everyone treats everyone the way you love to be treated, it's gold. You're hitting gold. And that's why I would always make sure, the big D, I made big decisions. Even when I was working for Fortune 500 companies in my leadership roles, I always spoke up. And I said, if y'all love money so much, which you do, and I know we love money, we need it, then you have to be good to other people, because this is the people business. I said, treat people the way you love to be treated, invest in them, listen to them, care about them, understand them. And the first thing you could do is, number one, treat people the way you love to be treated, and greet people with a smile, and understand we're all experiencing life. Life is lifing. So therefore, when an employee or a team member comes in, be supportive, be kind. We are all going through it. I would always hate the notion when someone was like, oh, leave it at the door. How are you going to tell somebody and leave it at the door when their mother has cancer? When they can't even put food in the refrigerator or keep the heat on, you're going to say, leave it at the door. I didn't ever run my team that way. I would always make sure I coached them and I said, how's everything going? I knew what was going through with them anyway, because I'm just that way. I connect with people. But I would tell them that advice I would always give is you have to learn to power through it. We are here to talk about it, but you have to power through it. Because in life, we're going to be hit challenges, but you cannot let it be your defining factor. Whatever pain you have, don't let it define you, let it refine you. So when we have the ability, when we soften ourselves and soften our heart by treating people the way we love to be treated, then things will get better. But when you see a lot of leadership where they just mistreat people, but then when misfortune or trauma hits them, then they want the world to care. Well, you didn't care about anyone else. So this is why it's important to treat people the way you love to be treated. And soft skills are the most important thing that you can do when it comes to business and just life overall. You have to. That's it.
You're always back here shaking my. It's always us. I don't care what nobody say. It's always us, me and you. That look like this. Maybe these folks on the ground.
Girl.
And they know I don't. They know this is my platform. It literally is.
Yep.
And it became to a point. So I said, oh no, because I could put this in my own community. It's a lot more things I can put into the earth carrying this much.
That's right. That's right.
And I do agree that the soft skills do have to be there. But for you to sit here and have a almost parallel experience, to me, saying, look, I know your baby is teething. You're going to store later. You go across the street, you get you some green tea. And you come back. Because guess what? My baby's teething too.
That's right.
Look, I know that you guys are down to one vehicle. You commute a lot more. You need to maybe front load. Maybe to front load your work at the beginning.
That's right.
Of the day, so we can make sure that you out of here by 4:00.
Hello.
See, that's the things that they're not talking about.
No.
And it's typically somebody that looks like you and me
all the time
on the ground, keeping the real stuff together.
Yes, right. That's right.
So, many of you have and possess these skills and have not discovered how to put those back in the world. I want if somebody is watching this and you know that is your skill set, and you probably feel like those skills or something were given to you in vain. You got two people right here in front of you telling you the power of those skills, and you never let anybody tell you that your power in you to build community and go, something that's not needed.
That's right. That's right. Ever.
I had to relearn it because they wanted managers to be a certain way.
Of course.
To be stern, to be this, to be that, or whatever. And that is not natural to who I am.
That's right.
I do understand that there are consequences for actions. There's accountability that has to go into the workplace. I'm not naive to that. But also to my hardest community, and that you can never take away from me.
Absolutely.
So thank you for sharing that. And so many women, have that. But this gives us a excellent place to go to this in personal development. Tell me about the power of no. Because we always talk about the power of yes.
Yes.
But what about the power of no?
The power of no is so important because if we don't create healthy boundaries, there's going to be nothing left for us. The power of no is just as important as the power of yes. And what happens is it's like, say yes to everything. That's how you open doors. No, you're going to open some doors also by saying the power of no. And the reason why is when I like to detail it as we all have keys, and all the keys are toward your heart. And however many keys you give away, whether it be to your job, whether it be to whoever it is that you're giving your keys to, you're eventually going to have no keys left. And your heart is going to start to weaken because you're overextending yourself. And this is why it's so important to exercise the words no. Stop giving explanations to people. And that's the thing. That's the beautiful thing about age, is because age is supposed to build awareness. That A is for awareness. You are not aging out. No, you're becoming more aware. You're becoming more self-aware of yourself. You're becoming more aware of the world, because there's two worlds, your own personal world and the external world. And it's very important that we all utilize the power of no, because with aging gracefully, and we got this melanin, is that it will teach you to say, I'm going to say no, and I'm going to say no with no explanation. When I was working my job, when I was there I was with the last previous company, 21 years and 15 years of leadership. So I know my leadership. But again, that comes to natural to us anyway, just being Black women. It does. We know how to hold it down. But at the same time, they would ask, well, what's going on? I would say why, and that would be it. Could you stay late? No. And I would leave it at that. I didn't allow them to take my identity and my self-worth. Well, I want them to think I'm worthy. I want them to think I could do it. I know who I am. This is the importance of self-awareness. I know who I am. So I'll need to prove to them that, or maybe I should stay later so they can see me more or know that I care more. I know who I am. I don't need to do that. So that's the thing about the power of no, is you get to a point where you say no and you don't even give an explanation. Now, for those that are closest to you, you have to exercise no too, because sometimes it could be family that is taking advantage. And sometimes it's hard to build up those healthy boundaries. So it's also something very good, something to, I know it could be hard in the beginning, but start with just loving some people from a distance. Sometimes some people in family, we got to love from a distance. I love you, but I don't like you like that. And that's okay. You don't need to people that are not pouring into you or that are constantly draining you and snatchers, but you love them, but you know they can't be in your ecosystem. You love them from a distance because they are taking your keys and you're giving them permission to take your keys. Back to the power of D. Make a powerful decision to say, I am no longer going to be disrespected. I am going to stand on business, and that business is my life. And I'm going to grow and start to use the gift that God put in me for greatness, because I have greatness that lives inside of me. So the power of no is so powerful. It's just as powerful as power of yes, but you have to be able to make those power decisions to know when to say no and when to say yes. If you say yes all the time, there's going to be nothing left for you. And you're going to look in the mirror and you're not going to even know who you are, because you're giving to everyone else and who's pouring back into you. So power of no is very important. Stop giving your keys away, and especially stop giving your keys to people that do not deserve it.
Girl, she say, talking about, would you say you love them, but you don't like them like that?
Yeah.
Every year it seems like it's a whole rash of folk I stop looking at.
Ooh, you like, well, I do not like you. Yes.
I don't really, like, I do generally love you, right? I operate, but liking, nah, we not finna go out to eat. We not doing none of that, okay?
No.
I don't generally like you, and I'm okay with that.
I'm okay with that.
Years ago, you still try to go and, go and do it and fake funk all it. Now, at this point, it's just like, nah, I'm not able to do it. And I stand firm in doing that, because that is taking the key back. Because I be telling people, look, if I got a fake smile, do all this slouching down the I'm not going. Don't invite me.
No. I'm okay.
I'm generally okay with it. And I think that is the vibe, right? And
yes.
I remember they say you have to teach them how to treat you.
Absolutely.
If you ain't gonna do it this way, then look, it's fine. It's no love lost, but
right.
The like is real low.
Oh yes,
the like
real low, super low, and we're not playing. And you saying no without an explanation. I said no, and I'm gonna keep it moving. That's it.
Mm-hmm. Because that explaining is draining the energy. That's because right. 9 times out of 10, they gonna want what they want, and they don't even want to hear that explanation unless it's gonna be twisted to what they want.
That's right.
Well, yeah, it's no point. It's no point in going.
No point
in doing all of that. I think this last shift, I mean, like I said, it was COVID, and it was like leaving in 2021. Mm. So 2021 to 2022 was just it was hard because it was a lot of digging internally, right? Mm-hmm. I had to do a lot of different things, right? I had to move a lot of different things around. I had sleepless nights. I mean, it was tears because I was trying to figure out what is that next.
Right.
And then, post that and coming back around, girl, by the time people start getting back outside, I'm like, oh no, I'm
and we were like, are we doing this now?
Yeah, we're doing this now at a time now where I've done so much work internally. And I tell people it's like internal. I said, everything I do, my brand is only a product of internal work. I said, if I would have never got to this line of authenticity, of freedom, you would have never got this platform. It'll never flow this freely. Like I said, when they're like, how have you done so many podcast interviews in such a short time? I said, because it's my life.
That's right.
It's not of course, there's work to keep it professional. There's things that you have to do to keep this thing going. But when I step in this space, everything in here goes away.
That's right.
Everything else ceases. Because now I know for a fact that when I sit and do this is God-given.
All day. All day. It is
God-given. I don't teeter with it or whatever. And somebody has to call me out. They say, baby, where's your podcast? You can came up over here and ran mine. So you got
you in the circles around them. You're like, what you got to do is
you got to do it. And that's literally, what happened some months ago. And I tell people it's been seamless for me because it is a space that I know was designed for me.
Oof, girl. Yes.
Yes. And I don't have any other. I don't have any other way to do it. I don't have any other way to show up. I don't have that. And even in a place where things got uncertain, you left your cushy financial services salary and all of this, but I've still been kept. And I'm free.
Ooh, yes. And that's what we're after.
And that's where I am. Because people will play all day. You're going to stay over there and die internally? Or what?
Yep.
Bottom line. So I want to thank you for sharing that. And let me just say, I want to look around a little bit. I think your Instagram is a combination of insightful as well as motivational. I love the mix. I really do. I love the mix. How do you decide what to address? What is that strategy behind it? You know, some people just say, you know, however the wind blows. Me, I'm intentional. Like I say, when we have this conversation, you can go look at the rest of them. None of them gonna look like this. Oh, what's your purpose? I ain't got that.
I don't have that, and I don't need to. I don't need to. I don't need to.
How do you decide and navigate that space? You know, it's a social media time. It's a, you know, it's a scrolling kind of a system what we're doing. What is your motivation on what you decide to address as you come and speak to the people?
Well, I do take it from just a lot of it is just what I see. And a lot of people just are really just, you know, being out there in social media, just seeing the things and feeling the pain points that a lot of people have. That's usually how I address it, because I like to address things that are truly pressing. And a lot of things that are really pressing right now is employment, work, and the work environment. And just overall, anything that comes to just self-love. I'm really big on that. Self-love, self-improvement, self-mastery. I'm heavily on that because at the same time, if your world is not where, again, back to the two worlds, if your personal world, your first world is not where it needs to be, when you need to go out into the external world, it's going to be very difficult. So I usually plan it by what I see, what's the pressing issues, what needs to be addressed. And then I also reflect on things that I'm experiencing. If I'm experiencing something or something that I have experienced, and thankfully, because of God, I was able to power through it, I need to help and coach and give that advice out, because this is why we have this amazing platform. God has created this amazing platform. Chandra, you're doing a great job of what you have. You are a pioneer, girl. You know you're a trailblazer. And just being able to give those opportunities to other people, which are blessings, to help them see the light that they have inside of them. So I base it on basically just what's going out in the world, what the needs are, the pain points, and I address them from there. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's always that need and that pain point,
right.
Which I really appreciate you. I know at the beginning, that's really where you started with the pain that your potential clients are feeling and bringing that to be a true reality. Right. I remember when I'm in the process of writing my second book. My first book was a letter to Black women. You know what I mean? It was literally that. So in that place, I wrote from the pain. I said, I can't be the only one feeling this. This is not even life or whatever. And I think my family, they were like, well, you know, they thought it was a risky thing to do. But at this stage in my life, I can't base my life on your risk model and your risk approach. That's right. I can't do that. But I have found that if you're open to it, they're like, what are you going to write about next? I say, well, life's still happening every day.
It's a mystery. I don't know.
I don't know. Yeah, life is still happening, but I have known from this platform alone, but I tell you, I have been blessed to get so many views of the world through other people's lenses, and I'm better because of it.
That's right.
So for me not to share, I think it's selfish, and I think it's a slap in our Father's face.
Yep.
For what He's given us to do. So you guys need to think about that, and I always challenge you guys out there to think about it, because these people checking out day in, day out. It's a lot of death. It's a lot of stuff going on. Yes. So nobody knows the day or the hour. So you have to take the time and make intentional steps. We're not telling you to jump over 10 hoops in one day.
That's right.
But it is a certain thing about taking that first step, putting your foot forward, and then moving in it. And no, it's not going to be easy. It's going to be a lot of uncertain days.
That's right.
But how certain it is over there when you're sitting comfortable.
Ooh, it's not good. And you're dying, and you're
No.
truly dying. If you're not growing, you're dying. And
No.
like you said earlier, there are a lot of people, they look like they're alive, but they're not alive. They
Girl,
passed at like 25.
I had a lady, we talk about Walking Dead.
Mm.
And we had a real good conversation on this. She was a psychiatrist too, like, and everything. She talked about that. And I told them, I said, I was a part of The Walking Dead for a while myself.
That's right.
So I don't sit here and point no fingers, because on the outside it looked good. I mean, there's the career, there's the child, there's the nice car, there's the nice clothes. But baby, these people is running amok around here. And I am subscribed to what they feed me.
That's right.
Because I don't know how to eat anywhere else. So I'm eating the poison.
Eating the poison. And wonder why you feeling sick. Why am I sick? You eating poison? You eating poison. You got to stop eating poison. You got to get right with God first, because that's where it comes from. Get right with God first and get yourself in line. And like you mentioned, you have to be intentional. And that goes back to Big D. Use your Big D. Okay. Use it. Use it.
And because you can't make the decision, and sometimes we're all not equipped to make decisions, because many of us live in survival mode.
Yeah.
So decision making is kind of not there. I got to do to survive. There ain't no judgment in there, because some of us, especially Black women, we don't have a decision to make.
Speak.
There's not a choice. I don't talk about this and just like, oh, it's a thing. So a lot of us don't have no choice.
That's right. That's right. And that's the pain points. That's the truth. Yep. And that's why your first book was about that. Yep.
And that's why.
Yep.
Because if you can't get out of that mode to say, even though I am survived, but I'm going to take that intentional time to think about it and then make a pivot, even if it's small for now, then you will not get off the hamster wheel.
That's right.
It's just an endless cycle.
A vicious cycle.
It is. I mean, and just like you find every time for everything else, I got to take the kids to soccer. I got to go help the church through where I do this and that. You can reinvest some of that time in yourself.
You need to, because there ain't nothing you pouring from vapors.
Okay.
They ain't nothing left. And this is why it's so important. Like we said, the healthy boundaries, and you have to, the thing is like, if you don't recognize pain, and just as Black women, that's what happens. Oh, she's strong. Oh, she's fine. She doesn't need help. I remember my sister was telling me that, I read an article that there was a Black woman, she was in hospital, and you know how if she's patting her head because she needed, her scalp was itching because her weave. This other nurse, who so happened to be white, and again, it's no judgment, but she thought this Black woman, she was trying to put her in a crazy house. She was trying to give her the craziest medicine. Oh, this woman is in here hitting her head. Something's wrong with her. Luckily, another Black nurse came along and said, no, she can't scratch her scalp because she has a weave in it. And it was just like, well, what do you mean? Because you don't know her. So this is why you're looking at her. You were already looking at her because you don't think she's a human being. So you just think she's scratching her head because she's an animal. That's not the case. But luckily, thankfully, God put another Black nurse around to say, this is why she's doing what she's doing. And this is why, even though that's on something else, look how much time as Black women, our pain is minimized. As Black girls, our pain is minimized. Oh, they don't feel anything, or they're fine. Excuse me? And this is why going back to decision making is, you're right. Sometimes the decisions are out of our hand, which is absolutely true. But one of the worst things can be done to someone is to minimize or make it seem like the pain they're experiencing isn't real. Pain is real. Acknowledge it. Acknowledge you were going through pain. This is why when I was in leadership, I acknowledged the pain that my team was experiencing. I wouldn't ever say like, oh, you just got to get through it. Get through it. Their mother is sick. Acknowledge that there is pain there. And you expect this person to work and make money for you and they're in pain? No, we acknowledge the pain over here. I'm acknowledging pain. I don't do that. I was raised with the best parents. My parents are my heroes. And they taught us to treat people the way you love to be treated. Recognize the pain that people have. Treat people the way you love to be treated. Put God first and get out here and make the world a better place, especially for people that truly have it hard like we do. Acknowledge the pain. Don't minimize the pain.
So it starts with that. It starts really, really with that acknowledgement. And, sometimes, and I would say the same thing. I was actually raised by my grandparents. They're 1940s kids, 77 and 80 respectively. And my heroes. And I would have never navigated any of life space the way I do if it wasn't for them. That's why I say do not deny the power of your community.
That's right.
What we taught to you and
That's
what
right.
your needs.
That's right.
It's not all, and to me, when I do some things that are nice in the world, or stopping and helping an elderly person, elderly people are a place of passion for me. Right. Especially in a community that we've grown up in, historically Black community here in Houston, Texas, one of the oldest, one of the largest.
Love it.
Places, even in the Deep South, that gave African Americans homes back in the 1900s. My great grandfather was one of the first owners of homes.
Wow.
In the neighborhood. So, and where I still reside. I am sometimes perplexed that people are so amazed by my heart. Why it should feel good. You shouldn't be that perplexed. That means it's not seen enough.
That's right.
Because if it's so shocking,
that means you don't think it's real.
You don't see it.
That's right.
So I don't have a choice not to show up.
Right.
Because it tells me when you're going into rooms, it is shifting things. It is making things better. And it's just naturally who you are.
Absolutely.
So that is a part of me that gets up every day to pour that piece into the world.
And it's needed. And you're needed.
And that's the part that I really want people to get, if not anything, from this platform. Now, Nadira, you have to tell people how to get in touch with you. Give them all the socials, the website. You have to get your connection details.
Thank you.
Go and follow you.
Yes, thank you. I am so grateful to God. I'm so grateful to Sandra that I am in your beautiful, beautiful platform. I'm so grateful for this opportunity. And yes, how you can reach me on Instagram at Nadira, Nadira.Baye, Baye. You can email me at Nadira, my first name, Nadira, at my first name and my last name.com. So it's Nadira at NadiraBaye.com. And all social media handles, my name is there. I'm on LinkedIn. I'm all the places, all the social media handles. I am there. And it's amazing. And I'm just so grateful for it. I'm actually I'm doing a 5-day session to help women with burnout and not feeling beautiful, high performing women and corporate women, or women just not feeling enough. A free day, 5-day challenge where we could pour into you. We could address your pain points to get you to where you want to be in life. So if you email me at Nadira@NadiraBaye.com, we can help get you there because I feel your pain.
I absolutely love it. And I always tell my guests, we actually been on here overtime. We're like almost at 40 minutes. And I tell them it never feels like that because once we're going to have the conversation, we're just going to have a conversation.
I love it.
Thank you so much. And this is the part in my show where I cue to my guests for final thoughts. I tell them, give us something that leaves us some great parting words for this space and really something that captures the essence of Nadira. So I'm going to come to you for final thoughts and I'll be back to close the show.
All right. Well, final thoughts. One thing I just want all the listeners to know is that you are more than enough. You are more than enough. You are more than enough. You were created from greatness. So don't ever let anyone steal your light or dim your light. You were special. You were beautiful. You were created to great things on this earth. Despite the pain that you have, let that pain propel you to do the great things that live inside you. Don't allow you to look backwards. It's about forever forward. Know that you're beautiful, you're deserving. I see you, I feel you, and we all want what's best for you, but it's up to you to make the switch. So you are more than enough, you are beautiful. And like I say in my book, you need to sabotage your sabotage. And you sabotaging your sabotage is sabotaging that those negative thoughts that live inside you, telling you lies, telling you that you're not beautiful, that you're not special, that comparing just leads to despair, telling you're not beautiful and you won't ever have that. Do not listen to the lies, that the trickery that's in our mind. Be intentional and know that you deserve what's best in this world and you are more than enough. You are special, you're beautiful. I believe in you and my mission, and that's who I am. That is who I am. I am a woman that wants to show women that the greatness lives inside of them because they were created from greatness. So that's who I am as Nadira Baye. And this is an honor, and it's been just an amazing journey. I'm so grateful to be here. Thank you.
And Nadira, let me give that back to you. You deserve this. You deserve the best.
Thank you.
And I don't want you to leave this space not knowing that, because sometimes people that pour necessarily always have people that tap them on the back and pour back into them.
This is true.
And this I know, but I am telling you from my seat, you deserve the best.
Thank you. You too. Thank you.
You absolutely do.
Thank you.
Everybody out there that's in the Her Voice Shines podcast land, I bid you my good night. I don't know when you guys are going to see this, but it's a Thursday night, y'all. Okay. But
Yes.
Miraculous things happen when you let your voice shine. Like the church folks say, I love you. Ain't nothing you can do about it. I'll be back next time with another amazing show.
Woo!